Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha with News Tonight, where we take you through the day's top stories from across India and the world. In one of the most significant news of the day today, the central government has spelled out a note of caution on the use of plasma therapy as a treatment for COVID-19. Citing studies by the Indian Council of Medical Research, Joint Secretary in the Health Ministry, Love Agarwal said, plasma therapy is not a proven therapy yet and could only be used for clinical trials. He also warned there could be life-threatening complications if plasma therapy was not used as per guidelines.
Plasma therapy is one of the therapy which is being experimented with. However, so far there is no evidence to support it as a treatment. ICMR ने एक नेशनल स्टडी को लॉन्च किया है ताकि वह इस थेरेपी की एफिकेसी के बारे में स्टडी कर सके। इसलिए इस विषय में यह क्लैरिफाई करना बहुत जरूरी है, अति आवश्यक है कि जब तक कि आईसीएमआर अपनी स्टडी को कंक्लूड ना कर ले, रोबस्ट साइंटिफिक प्रूफ अवेलेबल ना हो, तब तक इस थेरेपी को केवल हम या तो रिसर्च या ट्रायल पर्पस के लिए ही उपयोग करें। इनफैक्ट जो प्लाज्मा थेरेपी है, अगर इसको हम प्रॉपर तरीके से प्रॉपर गाइडलाइंस के तहत इस्तेमाल ना करें तो इससे लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग कॉम्प्लिकेशंस भी हो सकती हैं।
Love Agarwal added that the recovery rate of COVID-19 patients has gone up to 23.3%, while 17 districts did not report any new case in the last 28 days.
पिछले 24 घंटे में 684 पेशेंट्स हैव बीन फाउंड क्योर्ड, जिससे कि हमारा टोटल लोग जो क्योर हुए हैं वह संख्या 6,868 हो चुकी है। इससे हमारा रिकवरी रेट करीब 23.3% इस टाइम में समय हो गया है, जो कि एक बहुत ही प्रोग्रेसिव इंक्रीज है। मैं आप लोगों की दृष्टि में लाना चाहूँगा, आज देश में 17 ऐसे जिले हैं जहां पर पहले केस आए थे, लेकिन पिछले 28 दिनों से कोई नया केस रिपोर्ट नहीं हुआ है। इन जिलों में एक जिले की बढ़ोतरी हुई है, जैसे कि कल बताया था हमने आपको, और एक जिला ड्रॉप हुआ है, यानी कि 2 जिले ऐड हुए हैं और एक जिला ड्रॉप हुआ है।
In addition, he said India is doing much better than many other countries. According to the World Health Organization, India's population equals the combined population of 20 countries where the maximum number of COVID-19 cases have been found so far. Together, these countries have reported 84 times the number of cases reported in India.
कि अगर हम उन 20 देशों में आए हुए कंफर्म केसेस की संख्या लें और अपने देश की कंफर्म केसेस की संख्या लें, तो हम पाते हैं कि इंडिया में उन देशों के मुकाबले 1/84, यानी कि उन देशों में इंडिया में जितने केसेस रिपोर्ट हुए हैं उससे 84 गुना ज्यादा केसेस रिपोर्ट हुए हैं। इसी तरह से अगर हम डेथ की संख्या भी देखें तो हम पाते हैं कि इन 20 देशों में जितनी डेथ रिपोर्ट हुई हैं उससे इंडिया में 1/200 टाइम्स, यानी कि उन देशों में इंडिया में जितनी डेथ रिपोर्ट हुई हैं उससे 200 गुना डेथ ज्यादा रिपोर्ट हुई हैं।
And COVID-19 cases in India crossed 29,000 on Tuesday. According to the latest figures released by the Health Ministry, in the last 24 hours, 1,543 fresh cases and 62 deaths were reported from different parts of the country. With the new cases, Maharashtra now has 8,590 COVID-19 patients, Gujarat 3,548, Delhi 3,108, Rajasthan 2,262 and Madhya Pradesh 2,168 cases of coronavirus. Together, these 5 states account for 70% active cases in India at present. Along with 5 other states, they account for 91% of the cases so far. The government said 16 districts that had earlier reported cases have not reported any new case in 28 days. Pilibhit in Uttar Pradesh and Shaheed Bhagat Singh Nagar district in Punjab have been removed from this list after some fresh cases have surfaced. 3 new districts have been added to the list since the 24th of April. Meanwhile, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan on Tuesday reviewed the current status of COVID-19 surveillance in Delhi, along with Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal, State Health Minister Satyendra Jain and others through video conferencing. 190 cases were reported in the national capital on Monday, but according to the Delhi government, no deaths were reported for the second consecutive day till Tuesday. On Tuesday, the entire building of Niti Aayog in the national capital was sealed for thorough disinfection and sanitization after an employee tested positive for COVID-19. Delhi, Haryana, Gurugram and Delhi-Noida borders also remain sealed.
दिल्ली में जो हेल्थ वर्कर्स हैं, चाहे वो डॉक्टर्स हो, चाहे वो नर्सिस हो, चाहे वो दूसरे पैरामेडिक्स हो, वो जो कोविड के कारण प्रभावित हुए हैं या जिनको हमको क्वारंटाइन में भेजना पड़ा, ये परसेंटेज भी जो है काफ़ी सिग्निफिकेंट है. ये परसेंटेज करीब 4.11% है, which by no means is a I think ये बहुत ही एकदम हमको बहुत परेशान करने वाली परसेंटेज है.
ये मतलब आप ये समझ के चलिए कि जो एक को हुआ निकल रहे कैसे रहे केस, एक ही परिवार से कई सारे लोग निकल रहे हैं, उसके साथ काम करने वाले बहुत सारे लोग निकल रहे हैं, तो बंचेज में निकल रहे हैं. लोकल स्प्रेड बहुत तेजी से होता है इसका, तो लॉकडाउन है तभी इतने केस हैं. अगर नहीं होता तो
अभी भी लॉकडाउन बढ़ाने की जरूरत महसूस हो रही है सर.
वो कह रहा है जो कोविड हॉस्पिटल्स हैं वहाँ से केसेस नहीं आ रहे, केसेस नॉन कोविड से आ रहे हैं. थोड़ा सा लगता है कि वो लगता है कि हमारे यहाँ कोविड पेशेंट नहीं आया, पेशेंट कभी जा सकता है, तो उसकी वजह से चांस.
The Inter-Ministerial Central Team on Tuesday visited a hospital in Siliguri to take stock of the preventive measures against COVID-19. In Maharashtra, 522 new cases and 27 deaths were reported on Tuesday. The Mumbai police has asked their personnel who are above 55 years of age and having some pre-existing ailment to go on leave and to protect them from infection. While the UP government is sending students who are stranded in Prayagraj due to COVID-19 lockdown to their respective districts now, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath took the decision at a meeting with COVID-19 Management Team 11 of the state over the pandemic in Lucknow. Madhya Pradesh has decided to impose a fine of 1,000 rupees for spitting in public places in the state. In Gujarat, the government has banned all social and religious gatherings and public functions in view of COVID-19 pandemic. Thiruvananthapuram was removed from the list of hotspots after no new COVID-19 positive case was reported in the city. Karnataka has allowed shops to function in its green zones starting Tuesday midnight. The government said the shops can stay open with 50% workforce in these zones. 8 new cases of coronavirus have been confirmed in Karnataka, taking the number of infections in the state to 512. While Andhra Pradesh reported 82 new COVID cases, taking its tally to 1,259. This was the highest single-day spike in COVID cases in the state. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has issued guidelines on home isolation for people who either have very mild symptoms of COVID-19 or are in the pre-symptomatic phase. Patients with very mild or pre-symptomatic conditions who have the facilities to keep themselves isolated at their homes can do so now. This was not the case earlier. People who tested positive for novel coronavirus were immediately isolated and hospitalized in wards dedicated to COVID-19 patients. Let's take a look at who is considered to be a fit case for self-isolation and what steps they must take. These include patients who are clinically assigned by a doctor as very mild or pre-symptomatic cases. Such patients must have the facilities in their homes for self-isolation and for quarantining their family members. The patients also must have a caregiver at home on a 24/7 basis. A communication link between the caregiver and hospital is a prerequisite for the entire duration of home isolation. Those under home isolation must stay in touch with the government surveillance officer. The caregiver and all close contacts of such cases should take hydroxychloroquine prophylaxis as per protocol and as prescribed by the treating medical officer. They should download the government's Arogya Setu app on their mobile phones. The app should stay active at all times through Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. The patients should agree to monitor their health and regularly inform their health status to the district surveillance officer. Such patients are also required to fill an undertaking on self-isolation and also follow home quarantine guidelines. The patients should seek immediate medical attention if serious signs or symptoms develop. These symptoms include difficulty in breathing, persistent pain or pressure in the chest, mental confusion, or developing bluish discolorations of lips or face. The home isolation will end when symptoms are clinically resolved and the surveillance medical officer certifies that the patient is free of infection after laboratory testing.
पेशेंट को सेल्फ आइसोलेशन पर एक अंडरटेकिंग को भरना होगा. मेडिकल ऑफिसर द्वारा व्यक्ति को क्लिनिकली या तो वेरी माइल्ड केस या प्री सिम्टोमेटिक केस डायग्नोस करना होगा। उन्हें मोबाइल पर आरोग्य सेतु एप्लीकेशन को डाउनलोड करते हुए उसको निरंतर उपयोग करना होगा। उनके पास सेल्फ आइसोलेशन के लिए और उनके फैमिली कॉन्टैक्ट्स को प्रॉपर क्वारंटाइन करने के लिए रिक्वायर्ड फैसिलिटी होनी चाहिए। 24/7 बेसिस पर देखभाल करने के लिए उनके पास एक केयर गिवर अवेलेबल होना चाहिए और केयर गिवर और हॉस्पिटल के बीच में एक प्रॉपर कम्युनिकेशन लिंक स्टैब्लिश होना चाहिए। इन केस कि अगर उनको ब्रीदिंग डिफिकल्टी या चेस्ट में कोई पेन या प्रेशर हो या लिप या फेस पर कोई ब्लूइश डिस्कलरेशन डेवलप हो या कोई ट्रीटिंग मेडिकल ऑफिसर की एडवाइस हो तो वो अपने होम आइसोलेशन से निकलकर रिक्वायर्ड हेल्थ फैसिलिटी में जाएं।
In some good news related to our fight against COVID-19, at least 300 districts across the country are unaffected by novel coronavirus. Interacting with autonomous institutes and PSUs under the Department of Biotechnology via video conference on Tuesday, Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said 300 additional districts have a few cases while 129 districts have hotspots. It is these districts that the government is focusing on to contain the spread of COVID-19. The Health Minister said for the last 14 days, the doubling rate has been 8.7 days, while in the last 7 days, it has gone up to 10.2 days. He added that in the last 3 days, it has been roughly around 10.9 days. Dr. Harshvardhan also lauded the contributions of scientists and said they made significant progress in developing indigenous antibody test kits and RT-PCR test kits. He also said India will be able to produce RT-PCR and antibody test kits by May.
मई के महीने में हम देश को अपने भारत में ही वैज्ञानिकों की सहायता से रिसर्च करके और RT-PCR की किट और इसी प्रकार से एंटीबॉडी टेस्ट की किट, ये दोनों चीज़ें जो है हम भारत के अंदर ही इसका प्रोडक्शन जो है करके और भारत की रिक्वायरमेंट्स को पूरा करने में काफ़ी हद तक मई के महीने में सक्षम होंगे। जैसा कि हमारा टारगेट है कि 31 मई तक हम 1 लाख टेस्ट देश में करना चाहते हैं हर रोज़। उस टारगेट को अचीव करने में भी ये डेवलपमेंट हमें बहुत मदद करेगी। नई वैक्सीन की खोज की दिशा में हमारे जो बायोटेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट की मदद से और बायरेक की मदद से हम लोग जो देश में आधा दर्जन से ज़्यादा वैक्सीन कैंडिडेट्स को मदद कर रहे हैं।
Union HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank held a meeting with all state education ministers via video conferencing on Tuesday. In the meeting, the HRD minister said that efforts are being made to strengthen online education platforms like Diksha, Swayam, Swayam Prabha, Vidyadan 2.0, e-Pathshala, etc. He appealed to all states to start the process of evaluation of answer sheets of board exams and facilitate CBSE in the process. He also said that alternative academic calendar has also been released by NCERT to be adopted by states as per their local situation. He also announced a 10.99% increase in annual central allocation of cooking cost under midday meal scheme to 8,100 crore rupees. He further informed that Centre has allowed the states to spend the balance of the previous year under the Samagra Shiksha scheme, which is around 6,200 crore rupees. And an ad hoc grant of 4,450 crore rupees is also being issued for the first quarter. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh on Tuesday interacted with heads of defence public sector undertakings and ordnance factory boards via video conferencing.
The Defence Minister reviewed the business performance and contribution of the undertakings in India's fight against COVID-19. Rajnath Singh appreciated the innovative skills displayed by the defence production organizations in manufacturing new products to fight the coronavirus pandemic. The representatives of the DPSUs shared their strategies and future outlook to combat the coronavirus crisis. The Defence Minister also directed them to prepare contingency plans for resumption of operations and ramp up production after the lifting of the lockdown. During the conference, Ordnance Factory Board reported that there were no coronavirus cases in any of its 41 manufacturing locations. OFB's contribution in fighting COVID-19 includes repair of more than 100 ventilators, development of specialized machines for testing of PPEs, supply of 6.35 lakh masks to local authorities, and the distribution of 1 lakh litres of hand sanitizer, among other things.
And talking about the global situation, COVID-19 cases across the world have crossed the 3 million mark. According to the World Health Organization, more than 2 lakh people have lost their lives due to novel coronavirus across different countries worldwide.
Among the countries, the US remains the hardest hit with over 1 million cases and 56,803 deaths. Spain and Italy follow with nearly 230,000 cases and 199,414 cases respectively. Other countries with over 1 lakh cases include Germany, the United Kingdom, France and Turkey. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has blamed China for not stopping the coronavirus from spreading worldwide and said his administration is conducting an investigation into what happened.
And we are not happy with China. We are not happy with that whole situation because we believe it could have been stopped at the source. It could have been stopped quickly and it wouldn't have spread all over the world. And we think that should have happened. So we'll let you know at the appropriate time, but we are doing serious investigations.
Several European countries are easing their lockdowns amid the encouraging news of the number of cases coming down. Italy and Spain, which are the hardest hit European nations, have registered a drop in the number of new cases and deaths since last week. In France too, the hospitalizations and daily death toll have fallen steadily in the past 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has reiterated its warning that the pandemic is far from over and has called for international cooperation to prevent a second wave of the coronavirus.
As lockdowns in Europe ease with declining numbers of new cases, we continue to urge countries to find, isolate, test and treat all cases and trace every contact to ensure these declining trends continue. But the pandemic is far from over.
Foreign ministers of BRICS countries held a meeting via video conference on Tuesday. The video conference was convened in the backdrop of the COVID-19 crisis worldwide, and therefore the discussions were held on the crisis at large, its impact and the BRICS response to it. The BRICS foreign ministers also discussed the various activities that need to be undertaken under Russian BRICS chairmanship in 2020.
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar noted that BRICS has an important role to play in shaping the global economic and political architecture. The minister also highlighted the initiatives and various decisive steps taken by India in the wake of the pandemic, including through Arogya Setu Citizen app and the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. He highlighted that much before the outbreak was declared a global public health emergency by the WHO, India had instituted measures to check the spread of the coronavirus. Jaishankar also apprised the BRICS foreign ministers about the initiative to coordinate efforts against coronavirus in South Asia and the creation of the COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund by SAARC countries. He also emphasized the need to focus on the loss of economic activity across sectors that have been negatively impacted by COVID-19. He said that the countries need to provide support to businesses, especially MSMEs, to tide over the crisis and ensure livelihoods are not lost.
First detected in China's Wuhan late last year, the novel coronavirus is throwing up new challenges each day to the scientists who are mapping out its characteristics.
The medical community continues to report new aspects of the virus, even as they try to settle down on a more precise definition of the disease it causes. The Gujarat Biotechnology Research Centre is studying the mutation of SARS-CoV-2, the virus responsible for the COVID-19 disease. In the first week of March, a study in China revealed that S and L type of coronavirus are in circulation. Of these, GBRC scientists strongly believe that the L strain is more aggressive and is causing a high mortality rate in the state of Gujarat. The Chinese study also highlighted a peculiar transmission pattern. According to it, the L-type coronavirus was dominant until the first week of January, when the outbreak was concentrated around Wuhan in the Hubei province of China. As the transmission spread to other places, the S-type took over. The L-type strain was later found in places where the mortality rate was very high, places like Italy, Spain, and New York. The scientists at Gujarat Biotechnology Research Centre say the L strain has been found in Gujarat also, which is causing a high mortality rate in the state. But at a video briefing on Monday, Principal Secretary Health and Family Welfare Jayanti Ravi said the research and studies into this are ongoing, which means they are open to further observation. Meanwhile, the top medical watchdog in the US, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention or CDC, has added 6 new symptoms of the novel coronavirus to a list of known ones. The known symptoms are shortness of breath, cough and fever. To this, CDC website adds that 2 to 14 days after exposure to the virus, people with COVID-19 may show symptoms of chills, repeated shaking with chills, muscle pain, headache, sore throat, new loss of taste or smell. These symptoms are, however, yet to find mention on the novel coronavirus symptoms on the World Health Organization's website.
As the world races to find a cure for the deadly novel coronavirus, vaccine major Serum Institute of India plans to start production of a COVID-19 vaccine developed by the Oxford University in the next few weeks. Speaking exclusively to Rajya Sabha TV, Adar Poonawalla, the CEO of the Serum Institute of India, said the government has removed all regulatory hurdles for development of a COVID-19 vaccine.
Your institute has partnered with the Oxford Vaccine Project as one of the 7 global institutions.
In an exclusive chat with Rajya Sabha Television, Adar Poonawalla, CEO of the Serum Institute of India, said that vaccine development normally takes 3 to 4 years, but the COVID-19 vaccine could be ready in the next few months depending on trials that are underway. The Pune-based company Serum Institute of India has partnered with Oxford University as one of the 7 global institutions manufacturing the vaccine.
This is the vaccine which has gone already into human trials in the UK. And we're one of their major partners, but the only ones from India to manufacture this product if and when it succeeds through clinical trials. And I must clarify this because a lot of people have been asking for the vaccine, because I made a statement that we will produce it at personal cost and risk. And of course, I'm sure the government will support that financially to stockpile the product, so that when the trials succeed, and we hope they will by September, we will have enough vaccine for India and some other countries instead of waiting for another 6-7 months to then manufacture the vaccine. So this is to get a head start on it. And that's why it's all quite exciting, and we hope to succeed in that.
The company is all set to begin trials to determine if the BCG vaccine can boost immunity in the fight against COVID-19. Healthcare workers will be given the vaccine shots and will be checked against another set of healthcare workers working next to them but without the vaccine.
The data came out, and you must have seen this, that out of, I think, 30 or 40 countries where they looked at whether BCG was in their immunization campaigns and was taken for the last 20, 30 years or not, those countries have seen about 6 to 7 times less severity in COVID-19 cases, indicating that there could be a link that BCG vaccine is giving you that immunity booster. And of course, look, we can't compare ourselves to Europe and US. We can compare ourselves to the Asians. Our immunity, our diet, our climate will result in different cases and the severity of cases coming out. This is a very, very inexpensive vaccine, very cheap vaccine. So, it's 10, 20 rupees a dose. So compared to other vaccines, which generally go into hundreds or thousands of rupees per dose. So this is something which is a very easy thing to do and scale up because we're already doing it. It's an established product. It's safe. Now we just need to finish the clinical trials to prove without doubt that yes, there is a difference. And so we're designing a trial and study to give it to the immunocompromised or at-risk healthcare workers and others to see कि ये लोग में immunity improve होता है कि नहीं.
Over 30 companies across the globe are vying to develop a vaccine. 6 have already advanced to human trials or clinical evaluation stage, while several others are in preclinical evaluation phase. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
At a time when the whole world is focused on defeating COVID-19, Pakistan has made up its mind to treat the IMF and the FATF as its enemies. Pakistan is blaming the FATF for being a roadblock for its international investments. FATF, or the Financial Action Task Force, has been keeping Pakistan on its watch list for quite some time to make Islamabad come clean on funding terrorists and money laundering for them. The International Monetary Fund, on the other hand, has been disinclined to give loans to Pakistan, fearing that it will be misused to serve the objectives of the terrorists. Both IMF and the FATF find mention in this year's Green Book that is considered to be a reflection of Pakistan's strategic thinking. The Green Book, which finds a prominent place in the Pakistani Defence University curriculum, is a biennial publication brought out by the Pakistani Army. It has an introduction by the Pakistan's Army Chief, Qamar Javed Bajwa, who is also the patron of the publication.
This is on page 33 of the said Green Book 2020 of Pakistan that mentions that IMF and FATF are formed of hostile nations with very strong political clout. They are putting pressure on Pakistan internal capacities and stopping its external outreach. But this is not the fact. Actually, these two organizations are pressurizing Pakistan to shy away from funding terrorists. Actually, Pakistan is trying to misguide its domestic intelligentsia so that they don't discuss real issues inside Pakistan.
Pakistan on Monday appointed former Inter-Services Public Relations Chief Asim Salim Bajwa as the new Special Information Assistant to Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. Bajwa replaces Firdaus Ashikawan, who was serving as the Information Advisor to Imran Khan. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu offered tribute to India's foremost philosopher, saint and spiritual teacher, Jagat Guru Adi Shankaracharya, on his birth anniversary on Tuesday. In his message, the Vice President said that Adi Shankaracharya's preachings are an eternal source of wisdom and will remain relevant for all times to come. He also said that reading the life and thoughts of great saints like Adi Shankaracharya give us wisdom, hope, joy and calmness. The Vice President also paid tribute to saint and social reformer Sri Ramanujacharya on his birth anniversary. Ramanujacharya preached equality of all human beings and opened the temples for all castes. And that's it from us on News Tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy.